Alexis, don't even worry about packing your bag for London because you ain't going. Okay. And Tara, now you started off the episode with there being a lawsuit, right, by the FBI against Ryan. But from what I'm hearing, like what's going on with you, hun? Hmm? Hmm? Are you in a lawsuit now too? Huh? The same guy you said was full of sugar honey iced tea at the beginning of this episode. Is that the same one that's suing you? Hmm. That mouth is finally catching up to you, huh? Hmm. If y'all ain't know, Ryan suing Tamara, but you ain't heard that from me. Anyways, what's going on, y'all? It's your girl Taida B here. Welcome to my chat party where we get down, we get lit. Listen, it's just me having a good time, sharing my thoughts, my opinions, not facts, just a little bit of fun. Well, maybe facts, not always facts, but I'm saying like don't hold me to stuff. This is just lighthearted, fun. You go to a party, you have a good time. That's what I'm about. And can I say to y'all, the way that y'all showed out on my dance floor last week, oh my gosh, y'all. Like when I tell you, y'all are sending me. Y'all are sending me. And I'm like, the audacity again of the guest list to increase. Oh my gosh, y'all. I am living. Okay. And to see the people that stopped by my party, if a little bit, a lot of it, aka the views. Sometimes it's like it's not a lot you can say. There's not much you can say. And sometimes what's understood doesn't need to be said. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to say it anyway. Thank y'all so much. I really need to go back and pull all the names and shout you guys out. So forgive me. I will try to make that my business, my next video, because I appreciate y'all so much. And I don't take it lightly. I know it's just fun, but it's an amazing experience when it's something you're not accustomed to, and then you see people are really coming to see about you. So thank y'all so much. I like you guys are amazing. You are the real VIPs. I'm here for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into this episode, y'all, because there is a lot. Okay, it's a lot to talk about, and y'all know I like to run my mouth. Oh my god. When I tell y'all, I think this episode is definitely going down as one of my favorite episodes, at least of this season, for sure, because I got my life. I feel like every other moment. And I don't know how many times I laughed and I definitely hollered at the end, but we're gonna get there, y'all. Let's start from the beginning, right? So we start off where we left off, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. This episode was crazy. So many twists and turns. And Tara is still storming off after having an egg on her face, right? From Ryan pretty much getting her together and making her look silly in the most polite way possible, because he really could have ripped her a new one, especially after she called him a bitch, but he didn't. He still kept it classy himself, like a classic man should. Loved it. But question. So my first laugh. Did anybody notice when Tara left out how they paired to Eddie and he was just sitting there? And I'm like, why are you still sitting there? And then I said, let me give him a few seconds. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun. No. But y'all, even minutes later, he was still sitting there. And not only was he sitting there, the man had the nerve to be sitting there wrapped in a blanket like he was comfortable, and he knew he wasn't going nowhere. He knew he wasn't about to get up and check on his wife. And I'm like, who does that? See, I'm telling y'all, Eddie is something. I'm trying to tell y'all, a freaking mess. I thought that was shameful. Like, get your behind up and go see about your wife, please. And thank you. And so Katie instead goes after Tamara. And, Tamara's talking about how, Ryan is such a horrible human being. And I'm like, really, girl? Then what are you? Okay, we'll wait. And I'm mad Katie had to then go tell Eddie that it was time to go. Wouldn't he have already known that had he gone to check on his wife? But okay. And then here's the real egg face moment. Another part where I hollered in laughter because I just wasn't expecting this. I just knew once Eddie went around that table to say his goodbyes. And I saw Ryan get up. I was like, oh, Ryan, don't do it again. Now, you already had him kind of slight you the first time when you came, walking away from you. I don't know if this is going to work out. And got to mind if Eddie didn't go to Ryan and shake his hand. And not only did he shake his hand, he hugged him. And I said, now see, Tamara, you did all that yapping and that foolery, yet your man is over there hugging Ryan, the same one you still sitting in the car pissed off about. And not only that, he also, Eddie that is, accepted Ryan's apology. I was like, okay, and I'm not mad at them being on their grown men-ish, but I'm mad at the fact that Tamara did all of that again. For what? As Erica J would say, or what? Or what? I'm gonna say, for what? A mess. Just embarrassing. Just like, I hope she went home and just went under the covers, but you know she didn't because it's Tamara. So I'm gonna say to that too. If Eddie was so quick to just make up in that fashion, listen, I'm gonna say, Eddie, you just may not be on the right team. Okay, you need us to come get you, we'll come get you. You need us to come scoop you out, we'll help you out. Blink twice. So, baby, oh baby, when I tell you though, Jen sent me because in her confessional, she said she knew it was a matter of time, pretty much before Tamara would be back on her old hateful self kind of stuff. Now, that's me throwing those last words in there. And she said, you know, Tamara is a friend, or she's loyal to none. Facts. And she said, certainly not me. Super facts. Girl, I said, is this Jen for real? Is this our Jen from like, come on now, come with it, girl. I said, oh, something's rubbing up. Something's rubbing up. So I said, girl, in other words, you haven't been sleeping on the job like we thought you've been sleeping. Oh, you've been taking notes. And now you're about to show your hand. Okay, girl, let's go. I said, that's a proud moment, proud mom moment for me. And so Emily gets to asking the questions about Tamara mentioning, you know, him and his friend being caught up with the whole FBI stuff, for lack of better words. And, you know, he says that the guy's a good friend of his. He's a professional gambler, and that he really can't speak on the matter, right, for legal purposes. And so in her confessional, Emily says Ryan always travels to Vegas, right? Like it's his job. And I was going to get it, Emily, for a second. I'd be like, okay, it's his job, but what does Shane do? But then I remember Shane's an attorney. So, okay, that's an egg on my face moment. But anyways, I was like, Emily always up in the business, but I guess somebody's got to ask. Okay, fine. So fast forward, Shannon has turned 60 and she looks great, you guys. I'm sure you can agree. She meets with Katie and Emily, who are trying to help her find some furniture. And they talk about John, of course, for a bit. And I'm like, Shannon, it's your birthday. Like, let's not talk about him. What a horrible birthday gift that is. Like, let's again, just take a day off. I know it's a topic, you know, a reigning topic in your life right now, but we can still take breaks from it. And so they began talking about Katie's dinner, recapping that. And now we see Emily at Gina's house and they're talking about the same situation. And I absolutely loved when Gina said, Tamara can't keep doing this. So you can't keep doing this. You have 3 martinis and you say things that are awful. And I'm like, exactly. But yet, Tamara will be quick to point out Shannon and how many drinks Shannon's been sipping on. So I said, you know what? Let's start counting yours, Tamara. Why are you talking about Shannon's got the problem? And what's going on with you? Okay. And we know that, right? And that's always been a thing for Tamara. Tamara always uses drinking and getting drunk and belligerent and obnoxious and just everything under the sun, you know, as an excuse. And it's like, girl, no. And it's the same pattern over and over again. That's why I'm surprised that a lot of these people haven't stopped fooling with her even by now. You know what I'm saying? Or long before now. And so Shannon advises that she'll be hosting a tea party for her birthday. And Gina's, you know, they're showing her talking to Emily again, just saying how it's going to be awkward because things are still kind of funny between her and Heather, and Gina and Heather, that is. And she didn't like that. Heather didn't like, apparently, that Gina left the party at Jen's house with Emily. And I said, if it's one thing we all probably know as a collective unit, it's that, yes, Gina and Heather are close, but Emily and Gina are joined at the hip. Like, we know it's them first and foremost over everyone and everything. So I was a little confused by that with Heather because Heather knows better than that. And maybe Gina could have probably gone over to Heather, since Heather was upset about her leaving with Emily, and just kind of, made sure she was okay, gave her a hug, say, hey, I'll call you later to check in on you, and then left. You know what I'm saying? But to stay and pick sides, I'm like, Heather, now we're sounding a little juvenile, okay? We're not sounding like the boss lady that you are. All right. Like, and then she specifically even asked Katie, like, well, whose side were you on? I'm like, girl, are we really doing this? Like, somebody cut this scene out, because that don't even look good. You know what I'm saying? We're too old for this. No, ma'am, absolutely not. Then I saw where Gina actually did reach out, because they show the text that her and Heather had exchanged. And, pretty much was checking on her. So I was like, okay, well, then that was enough. Like, girl, these people that always want more, like they say, you give them an inch, they take a mile, Or what's that old children's book, y'all? If you give a moose a muffin, or if you give a mouse a cookie, and then it just goes on and on. Like, the more you keep giving, the more these people want. And it's like, I gave you a little something, but you're telling me that's not good enough. I needed to give you more. Like, chow, cheese. And so, anyways, now Emily's explaining her version of what happened with her and Heather, and all this stuff, and how Heather had her finger in her face, and she didn't want to talk to Emily in that moment. And I'm like, but didn't we see something slightly different prior to that? Wasn't Emily still wilding out? Now, I wasn't going to go back and watch, because I was too engulfed in this, but I was like, that was the whole point. Emily was acting a stone fool even before she asked Heather to talk. And I don't blame Heather, because in that moment, if you would have come at me like that too, I wouldn't have wanted to talk to you either. Like, you're too hot in the head in that moment. Like they say, cooler heads prevail. Let's revisit this. Let's calm down. It's not a good moment. You're doing the most. We will not talk about this now. So, I mean, I think it was a perfect opportunity to kind of shut that down. And so Emily wanted Heather to see her as a size 6, not a size 12. Heather says in her confessional, Emily's gorgeous. What did I say? What did I do? And I was like, girl, nothing. Nothing. We were still trying to figure that out. And we'll get to that a little later. But Emily gets into, people shading her on social media. And while that's a terrible thing, right? And we know that social media is where all the trolls live, right? What they call them, people with Twitter fingers, and the people who got a whole lot to say because they know in real life they're not going to approach you, or whatever the case. But if that's the matter, or the fact of the matter, then girls, stay off of social media. That's probably the best thing you need to do. I'm sure you're at a status now where you probably have management of some sort, or you can hire someone to manage your social media for you, and just don't read those parts. Like they say, do what Beyonce does, right? Allegedly, doesn't Beyonce not pay attention to this, that, and the third, even though there's a whole lot going on with her right now, but we ain't gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So I've always heard, though, because I'm, let me not say it, because y'all might come for me if I say, oh, I ain't a beehive. I mean, I think she's wonderful for what she's presented all these years, but I'm not a crazed fan of anyone. And so with that being said, I've still always heard, though, that she doesn't give in to the nonsense of people. And I think you ought to do the same. But moving forward, now, I love the work, I will say, that Emily continues to do with the Innocence Project. And, she helps exonerate people and get them acclimated back into the world. And we know our justice system, no words. Just beyond horrific, right? And so it's heartbreaking. This young man who's an exoneree that she's meeting with at this suit shop, was arrested for, sorry, y'all, to go back right quick, because I already said the word, and I believe it's a word I can't say. So he was accused of unaliving someone when he was 15 years old, and he spent 18 years in prison. And so, very sad situation, very sad to hear, because obviously we know that's precious time. Any time in life is precious, and you can't get it back. And especially for something, I can't imagine having been in that situation for a matter that I had nothing to do with. And they were telling us the ins and outs of it. I think his brother was involved and admitted to it, but it was too late. All types of mess. But at any rate, at this point, he's being treated to a customized suit, which I think was really nice. And though nothing can change what he's been through, not even a tailored suit, I just pray that he's received so much more at this point. Again, it can't erase what he's been through, but I pray that, he's just living his best life at this point in time, and just wishing him well and the best. Horrible situation. But Katie and her family are out to dinner. I'll just say for that, the food looked amazing, and I love that they're keeping their culture alive. And her son is just too stinking cute. He really is. And I loved Emily's gift to Shannon. I thought it was a beautiful representation of woman empowerment, of just beautiful friendship. Like, I loved it. And I thought Shannon looked absolutely stunning. I think this should be kind of the introduction to this phase of her life where she really just has just a different outlook and puts it into action for sure. And it sounds like that, as we saw when she was talking at her tea party. But it's like, girl, you've been through so much that, you know, what can't you conquer at this point in time? And I'm just hoping that her latter days will be, well, no, excuse me. I'm praying that her, or hoping for her, that her days that are behind her are a thing of the past, and that the days ahead of her will be so much better than what she's had to experience. I'm sure she's had some wonderful times throughout her 60 years, but like I say, as you age, you get finer, like a fine wine with time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that for Shannon. But anyways, y'all know, um, Katie and John, excuse me, Katie and Jen are talking on the phone, which I love. Super quick moment I had to mention because I peeped how they're talking about kind of, you know, meeting at Shannon's tea party and Tamara being there, and Jen is not feeling it. And Katie's kind of on some, oh, well, I just don't want you guys to go backwards. And I'm like, Katie, be quiet. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to say be quiet because Jen quieted you and she was like, Katie, Tamara's already sent us backwards. I said, I'm telling you, it's a 360. I said it again, is this Jen for real? Loving it. Like, we are getting now to see the shift, and I am here for it. Wishing this would have been here sooner, but like they say, y'all, better late than never. I will take what we are getting because it is it. She is giving, y'all. She is giving. And it may not seem like a lot to y'all, but I feel like sometimes small things are a big win. And for the simple fact that she sat by so idly or just so passive, and the past seasons and at the beginning of this season, and Tara, that's not really nice, girl. Forget all that. Let's can all that. Let's get to the business. Tell her off like you meant it. Like she stole something. Like she slept with your man. Like, let's get into it. And you could tell that she's warming up. And I'm like, ooh, let's go, let's go. All right, I'm getting too excited again. Love it. Now we're at Shannon's tea party. And I'm so happy that she can just have this ray of sunshine in her life, at least for a day, something to distract her and take her mind off of things. And, it just be a beautiful event, a beautiful reason to celebrate. Always a great thing when you can celebrate life. And so, sidebar, Emily and Gina arrived, and Gina redeemed herself, y'all, I'm going to say, because this silver was much better than the last silver. And I told y'all that in my prior review. I said she must have heard me, even though I know she did it. I'm joking. She must have heard me. It was like, okay, girl, I heard you talking smack about my outfit last time, my silver last time. Does this silver look better for you, huh? And it did. I like this look so much better on Emily than the prior silver, okay? But Heather comes in immediately and asks Emily to talk, and Emily says no. And at first I was like, okay, girl, we can't be mad at that, right? Because she was like, listen, I'm going to give you what you gave me. When I wanted to talk, you didn't. And now we're not dancing to the beat of your drum. You want to talk? I don't. She ends up talking to her anyway. But like I said, I understood her initial no, because you don't have to do things on people's terms, or at least not always. Sometimes you should bend and break, but it's like they said, Heather is so accustomed to just doing things her way. Girl, that's not how life works, okay? You are not the only one in this situation. We gonna move accordingly, right? There's others involved, so we're gonna do what works for others as well, not just for you. It's not all about you. Again, I like Heather, but I'm just saying. And Gina also made sense in her confessional when she said Heather pretty much never wants to be in the moment, right? She always has to step away when something's hot and something's going on and think about it. It's almost like it's kind of calculating and strategic, because it gives her time to cool off, think about what she wants to say and craft it so perfectly. And then she comes back and says and recites what she had memorized. And it's like, no, that's not how things should go. She said it doesn't feel genuine, and I get that, and I think she's absolutely right. I feel like that was the same instance in what we saw This episode, I mean, I still could appreciate the conversation that her and Emily had, but I totally got what Gina was saying. And so, speaking of Emily and Heather, they go ahead and talk. And I'll say I understand what Emily was trying to say much better when she broke it down. But then when she said Heather had to understand her psyche, then she lost me again. Because I'm like, girl, you can't expect people to think the way you would think, to be in your mind, to know your thoughts, to do what you would do, to say what you would say, right? This goes back to expectations. You can't expect people to be you and do you. You can't expect you from other people. Things just don't go that way. While you want to expect from people like mindedness in a sense, certain things are just like you're reaching, you know? So it's almost like you wanted her to just know your thoughts and she should have known how you felt. And it's like, no, it's not always that simple. And obviously she didn't, right? And I still don't think Heather did anything wrong, even in the midst of the conversation, even in the throwback footage, you know, that they showed. What did Heather say wrong? You know, I didn't see anything offensive, but I will say that they fixed it. Emily got what she needed, which is great, you know, and they can move on. And so Tamara arrives and immediately apologizes to Jen, saying she doesn't want things to be awkward for Shannon's party. And I'm like, who cares what you want? Like, because who really cares? We're not thinking about what you want, girl. We're mad you're even here. Go away, okay? You and Alexis are two people we don't want to see. But it was the unbothered. I'm not giving you anything today for me from Jen. Loved it. She said, they're like, okay. And because I felt like Tamara, knowing how Jen is and knowing the sweetness that she brings, was probably expecting Jen to kind of be on some, yeah, Tamara, I really like that, you know, because I love you. Nope, not today, Satan, not today, sis. Jen was like, that's a hell no. So I thought it was great. Listen. Okay, let me bring it back together. Let me get myself. I'm telling you, I so many moments in this, I had to rewind. So in her confessional, Jen says she's exhausted. And girl, when I tell you, we totally understand, Chad, we totally understand. We've been exhausted for you. Okay. And not only that, we've been waiting for you to catch up, but we're so glad you did. We're so glad you did. Okay. And so Shannon walks in. She surprises the girls pretty much with a trip to London, which was fun. Sidebar, let's get some rich friends like Heather. Okay. Because the $760 Hermes slides, I was like, okay. Yes, bing. She was like, boop, oh, it's nothing. It's light work, you know, just a little something. Jen was like, you know, this is such a generous gift. She's like, oh, well, it's your 60th birthday, child. Okay, well, Heather, I had a 40th birthday last year. If you want to send me a little something, it ain't even got to be Hermes shoes, but I know whatever you would send would be great. And I got a birthday coming up in, what day are we? So I'm the 13th. Libra season. Let's do a quick little party break. A Libra shout out from the DJ. For all the Libras in the house, y'all. My birthday is next Sunday, October 13th. And so, anyways, reeling it back in. The flowers arrive, y'all, right? The flowers. Oh my gosh, the flowers, the flowers, the flowers. I said, no, not the flowers. This is bad. The flowers. Somebody take the flowers away. And I got nervous, y'all, because I just felt it was something bad. And I'm like, I know it can't be somebody or John and them serving her or something else because they would have just added to whatever they already have. I'm like, what? This is about to be something crazy. And it still was in a different way. Y'all, the flowers are from Alexis, as you saw. And I'm like thinking, Alexis, though the flowers are beautiful, you're about, let's see, this is episode 13. So you're about 11 episodes late. And then I'm pretty certain, I think Shannon even said that later on to the ladies, like she's like 9 weeks like late. Like we've been going on with this stuff for 9 weeks or something like that. And I was like, exactly. And girl, with the way you acted, even in that time frame, girl, goodbye. Goodbye. I said, I have secondhand embarrassment for the lady even sending the flowers. I wouldn't have sent the thing because it would have made me look even more crazy with the way that I've acted. Now, yes, you should, you know, right your wrongs when you can, but that's too much. That's too much. Nope, 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 nope. And so she tried. She tried, y'all. I mean, she tried, but it was an epic fail. And I'm not even going to address Tamara's ignorance in her confession about Shannon just accepting the flowers. Girl, please. And I love Shannon's stance on things, you know. she said nothing wrong, just pretty much in why she's not with the crabs and the olive branch that's being extended. And also, I said, come through, Shannon, with the Alexis, you're not invited to London text. I was like, why hadn't you sent it before then? Because I know she was like, oh, I didn't send it yet, girl. Why not? You should have been sent that. But oh, the girls were just in stitches. They were in a tizzy over that, just laughing. And I would have been laughing right along with them too. And so they go around and share their favorite moments of Shannon, which I thought was cute. Now we go to Alexis's house, y'all. We wrap up at Alexis's house, and this was a wonderful wrap up. I'm trying to tell y'all, this was like, this is why this is also one of my favorites, right, of this season. And at first I was like, why are we at Alexis' house? Oh, but then I saw absolutely why, right? I said, I get it now because we had to end the episode with a bang. And so when I tell y'all, let's just fast forward to them getting to the point where they need to tell her that she's not, or actually they need to address her not being able to come to London, right? Did this lady, Alexis, really ask, what is Shannon so hung up on? And did she get emotional at first at that? Like, did we see her like a little teary eyed, y'all? I'm like, is this lady again delusional? Like, what is she so hung up on? Y'all, we don't even need, do we even really need to go down the list of things and really need to address that? Like, would that really be fair for us to even do? Wouldn't that be a total waste of the next 5 to 6 minutes of time? I ain't even gonna do it. I ain't even gonna do it. And I'm gonna say, even in this episode, in case you forgot, we were given a fresh example of what Shannon's so hung up on, because even as John is sitting in the confessional with Alexis, and I'm like, God, why again do we need to see him? Last person we want to see. We could have done without that, Bravo. At this point, all the episodes that have shown, and we're like good off of John, and then you want to throw him in there. But even as he's talking and making it seem like, oh, I kind of didn't want to do it. BS. Here she goes sitting there chiming in. Yeah, well, I mean, so we had the evidence or whatever she said. The point is that she said something and you should have been sitting on mute. And they still flashback you going hard even from episode 1. And you wonder why she's so hung up. When you watch this season, you'll understand why. Okay? At the same time, it's you, so we can't expect much from you. But y'all, when I tell you the way that I hollered probably 10 times in a row. First of all, I love, this is where I got my life when she said she was done. I was like, wait, so we're not going to see you again? We're, we're done with you? You're not coming back? Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. But it was the fact for me that this lady, because she got up and I'm like, she just going to leave them sitting there? Oh no, ma'am. She got up to go open the door for them to help themselves out and literally flagged her hands like, y'all can go. I was done. And Katie and Jen were so confused, just as confused as they wanted to be. Oh, it was wonderful, you guys. Just wonderful. So not only do we not have to deal with her, but also she kicks them out of her house. Amazing. Just when I tell you chef's kiss of an episode, I don't know how y'all feel, but it's about that time. The music is loud. It is up. It is lit. Do not be approved. I'm telling you, I love the footwork. I love the footwork y'all was putting on the dance floor last week. So you have to get back down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, please. Pretty, please. What was your highlight of this episode? Are you guys thrilled like I am that Alexis is done? Like done? Like, it ain't only that you ain't coming to London, we just ain't even going to see you. Well, at least I hope. Let me not get so excited because she might find her way again before the season is over. And I don't know. I'm sure we'll have to see her for the reunion. Oh gosh, but I lived, y'all. I got my entire life. So y'all already know what it is. Like I said, don't be no prude. Get on the dance floor. Let me know. Freaking amazing episode, y'all. And so y'all know I'll be back next week to do it all over again. Y'all are making this even more enjoyable for me. Thank you so much again for the love, because that's why. And also, I just enjoy talking about this stuff. So until we meet again, y'all, first of all, I hope this video will find you well. And if not, I hope that it put a little bit of a smile on your face or a lot of bit of a smile on your face and somehow made your day. Until then, though, y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And I'm out. Peace.